Good morning. Today we're going to be doing some product research. Thought it would be really helpful to find you guys, or try to find you guys, some products just using Helium 10 today. Going back to kind of the basics and how I do it. Helium 10 is such a great software to use. So without further ado, let's try to find you a product. This is Helium 10. It's a way for you to narrow down essentially the product you are looking for to sell on Amazon. Amazon has over 1 million different products, so I'm sure you don't want to scroll and find one in particular and pick through the millions. I think going by filters is definitely a way to go. As you can see, I have 3,000 search volume, 1,500, $22 minimum, $45 max will go. Reason I do $22 minimum is because a cost per click usually is between 80 cents to $1.50, and with the industry average of a 10% conversion rate, if my profit is only $8 at $22, I would be losing money if I have an industry average of 10%, spending $12 to gather a sale. So I kind of want to be making money on my PPC, so I definitely want this above $22, I would think. There are some products you can get for $1 and CPCs that you can get for $1, but I tend to see $23 to $45 is kind of like that money spot, you know? And then as for review count, I always like to start at 1,000. I tend to find that newer markets tend to get saturated very easily. So I kind of want to get into a market that already has listings succeeding for a long time. People are typically very scared of competition, and I actually like competition. I like when a market's already filled up very well. But most importantly, I want there to be old branding. I want the customer to be an enthusiast customer where they are willing to spend more and there's an issue to be solved, or they're coming in with a problem. We don't want to go in markets where the customer is just looking for the cheapest option and just ignoring what you're trying to offer and doesn't care about your branding. We want to come into a market where branding matters a ton and you can offer a price that's higher. So for categories, I do feel like people care about their cars. I hope. So we'll do that. That's definitely an enthusiast. We'll go patio, lawn, and garden, health and household, and industrial and scientific. You guys can just copy the filters I just used, and you guys should be able to look around and see some interesting results. So when we click search, we will scroll down, and let me see if I can find something for you guys while I'm scrolling. Snake repellent for yard. That is very specific. I assume this is incredibly seasonal. Yep. So the thing about gardening is some of these products are incredibly seasonal. Like, you want to sell a product that maybe sells better for 8 months out of the year, but in those 4 months still sells decently. So you're not just reliant on 8 months of sales. That is definitely something that's very important to go by. I just realized I didn't have my camera on for my video camera, so thought I would get that back in there. Let me take a sip of my coffee again. Anyways, we're still waking up. Let's get back to it. Lower back support. Oh, that's definitely an enthusiast customer if we think about it. Somebody coming in with an issue. I always like to see sprays or creams or something very more specific. This could be a lot of different things. So you'd have to really dissect the type of product you're going into in this. It's definitely a bit broader. Kind of if somebody typed in basketball, and they weren't specific on like basketball hoop, basketball drill stuff. So it's very not as specific. Fruit tree spray. I kind of like how specific that is, and it's a customer. Again, when I'm scrolling down here, I'm really only thinking about who the customer is and what type of person they are. So the customer here would be a gardener, right? Somebody who cares about their fruit tree. So if we look at the search trend on that, it is very seasonal. One thing I do like is it is trending up, so, but this wouldn't be one that I would sell because it's still way too seasonal for me. But getting at closer of an idea of kind of what I'm looking for as a customer perspective. Beef liver capsules. Always been very interested in this market actually, so let's take a look. I've seen these online too. So this is definitely somebody that wants to take care of their health, so that is an enthusiast customer. All the branding has the same exact color, so if I was coming into this market, I would definitely want to try something more darker. What's cool is branding, you can pretty much do almost, can't really do anything, but you can always be different, right? You can always do something very severely different. So what I think would be cool is if you had like an all black label and a really, really cool cow or whatever this is stick out very severely and with like a smirk, and then I don't know, something like that is edgy but would stick out severely. So that could be a really cool idea. They're kind of doing it, but not exactly there. But hey, 800 orders. I like to see that works when you're doing a different color. But they're definitely pricing cheaper, so it must be something to do with that. But this could be a good idea. Really depends though on a lot of different things. I would then look at cost per click for advertising. The order I would go is look up a magnet, see what the average cost per click is. If it's above $1.30 or $1.20, I wouldn't sell it because you're looking at a 10% usually industry average conversion rate. And then if your margins are only $10 a unit, I've explained this, but essentially look for a low cost per click. Then you go in Product Opportunity Explorer, see the industry conversion rate for this in the last 365 days, and I like to see it over 6%. Those are like the two things I would do next. Let's see if we can find one more idea while we're at it. Flea foggers for indoor. What the heck is this? Some of these, one thing I do have with sometimes filters is it'll show you something that's popular right now, but it won't be consistent for the last 12 months or 5 years. It will just be something that's really trending right now. So that's not typically a market that's something I want to find, but that's just something you need to watch out for. I typically tend to see on that end. Pollen supplements pregnancy. That actually looks really interesting. Consistent search volume too, and it's for a pregnant woman. Definitely a specific customer. Very important too. This is actually kind of interesting. I would definitely take the next steps too in finding our cost per click and all that. But this is very specific in general. It's something I like to look for. See, there's a lot of orders. Sometimes you don't even need to look at the revenue. Sometimes you can kind of just see the orders in general, like right here, and just know. One thing I do want to see though is people coming in with low reviews, pricing higher and doing well. So this is really cool to see right here. This is a big sign. So these people, different type of branding, 4,000 orders in the last month, only 100 reviews, only a 4.2 star rating, and pricing almost double compared to some of the higher review guys. So that's definitely a plus sign, big plus sign. So like I said, the next steps would be to check our cost per click by going into Magnet and seeing our industry cost per click for advertising, and then we go into Product Opportunity Explorer, and then we can see what our industry conversion rate is. So without further ado, let's actually just do that real quick so I can just show you guys the steps of doing that. So right here we just typed in pollen supplements pregnancy, and then as we wait for it to load, Helium 10 is probably still waking up in the morning. So right now we're gonna type in, what's cool is for phrases, this is what I always do after I do in Magnet. I'll go into phrases and just do call-in. So they're only showing me search terms that are just call-in related. So I'll press apply filters. I'll put it highest search volume to lowest. So we're only seeing from high to low, so I can see immediately what the highest search volume is. So this is what I was talking about with CPCs. You want to look at this first. If it's above $2, you really have to take into account like what the industry conversion rate is, and we can look at that in a second, because then we can calculate how many clicks we're usually going to take to convert somebody. Because if we're spending almost $2 a click and our profits are only $15, that means we only have 7 clicks to just break even on advertising orders. So this is definitely a red flag. and I would want this above $1.30. But what we can do is we can check what our industry conversion rate is for this market, meaning when people are scrolling, how often are they converting when they go in this market? So here we are in Product Opportunity Explorer. This is a great way to find our industry kind of conversion rate. So we're going to type in Colon Supplements Pregnancy, and then it's kind of cool. You can see some interesting metrics on search volume, like it's grown over 153% in the last 180 days. So that's great to see. And then we'll click the specific search term, and what's cool is we can kind of see where our industry conversion rate is by search conversion in the past 365. So this is actually pretty good. What's cool is this is just the average among bad listings and decent. So with my market I sell in, our industry conversion is 8%, and my conversion rate in general is around 12 to 13% usually. So it really can depend on based on your listing and how good it is. Keep that in mind. Don't take this for as like a law or a fact. You definitely want this at least over 5%, but if it's 8 or 9%, don't assume that that's exactly what you'll convert for, because you could have a way better brand and listing and better innovation and be sometimes even double this, or a few percent higher, which makes a huge difference when you calculate your margins and how much you'll be spending on ads to convert. So that's kind of my process of product research. Thought I would share with you guys. If you like this video, just leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, it's all good. Hope you guys are having a great week so far, and tune into the next video and we'll do more product research. Take care. Bye-bye.